Hello my dear students, today we'll be discussing important question of IIT Mains Mathematics of the chapter named Quadratic Equations. This is the chapter of class 11th. So let's get started with the questions of this chapter. So the first question we have is this. So if a plus b plus c is greater than 9c by 4, okay, and quadratic equation this equals to 0 has non-real roots. Now what is the meaning of having non-real roots? If I want to show that they have non-real roots graphically, I can show it like this. Having non-real roots graphically means either this is the situation or this is the situation. Okay. Meanwhile, let's read the question. Let's come to the question once again. If a plus b plus c is greater than 9c by 4 and the quadratic equation has non-real roots, then out of the given 4 options, which one is correct? That's your question. So let's find out which one is correct. Now, since non-real roots are given, so the 2 can be the one of the cases. Okay, that's okay. But how do we find out, is this the right case or is this the right case? Depending upon which is the right case, we'll be able to go with the option which has, according to the option, we want to find out the sign of A as well as C. So to find out the sign of A, I should need to know that whether it's an upper parabola or the downward parabola. Accordingly, I will decide upon the correct option. So now let's get back to the question. Now what is this condition given? Let's just manipulate this condition a bit, and in this case I will have 4A plus 4B plus 4c minus 9c greater than 0. Okay, so that means I'll have 4a plus 4b minus 5c is greater than 0. Yes or no? Right? Now how will, if I compare these two equations like this as well as this, if I compare these two equations, what is common between the two? On comparison, I find out that the two are same. Okay, so what is different? I can also see A over here, I can also see B over here. It's just that in place of x square it's 4 and in place of 2x it's also 4. So what should be the value of x to find out to make this situation? So for that I have to put x is equals to 2. So let's substitute x equal to 2 in the given quadratic equation and find out what happens. So substituting x equal to 2 over here, I will have 4a plus 4b minus 5c. That means this 4a plus 4b minus 5c is nothing but that we are actually putting x equal to 2 in the given equation. That means it becomes f of 2. This is nothing but f of 2. So since this is greater than 0, therefore that simply means that f of 2 is greater than 0. Now what does this suggest? Whenever question in which the inequalities are given, in which you are supposed to find out the sign of A, B and C, you must always use the graphical approach, first thing. Second thing you need to take care is that you must always try and relate the given condition and find out, is it f of 1, f of 2? Can you make certain some of the value of the function from this? So this is the way to deal with such questions. In this question, for example, this condition came out to be, which was a bit manipulated, came out to be nothing but f of 2. So from this condition I realized that f of 2 is positive. Now f of 2 is positive only, though we already discussed, since there are no real roots, therefore only this is the condition or this is the condition. Now since f of 2, let's suppose 2 is somewhere over here. Since f of 2 is coming to be positive, that means clearly this is the situation and this is not the situation. So hence it's an upward parabola. So we realize that this is the given one is an upward parabola. Okay, so since we know that it's an upward parabola, now the question becomes very, very simple. That means for upward parabola, we all know what is the sign of A. For the upward parabola, the sign of A is positive. So all the options having negative sign of a should be discarded first of all. Right? Now we are left with just two options, either this or this. Now we have to carefully see this option and find out which is the right option. You may in a hush, generally all the students in a hush would say c should also be greater than 0 because this is the value of f of 0, and since from the graph it's clear that f of 0 should also be positive. But no, my dear students, if you carefully look at the equation, here comes the twist. If you carefully look at the equation over here, it's minus c. If you put x equal to 0, you will end up having minus 5c. Now minus 5c can be negative or positive depending upon the value of c. If you take c to be positive, this will become a negative value. And if you take c to be negative, then negative gives you a positive value. But we need the positive value of f of 0 because we have chosen the upward parabola to be the correct parabola. Therefore, your c should be negative in order to make, because your f of 0 is what? Minus 5c. So in order to make f of 0 positive, since this is the parabola which is the correct parabola, you have to have c negative so that f of 0 becomes positive. So the correct answer is option number B. I hope you're clear with this. So the twist in the question was, though it was a simple twist, but sometimes in hurry, in haste, we tend to write C is also positive, which is not the case. So you have to be very, very careful about such questions. Alright, I hope you're clear with this. Let's move to the second question, question number 2. Now, if fx is equals to this and f of 2 plus t is equals to f of 2 minus t for all real number t, then which of the following is true? Now, for this question, you need to know a bit of this knowledge that if you have f of a plus x is equals to f of a minus x, okay, then if you're given that f of a plus x is equals to f of a minus x, then your x is symmetrical about the line x equal to a. This is the result. And in case a student is a bit confused about it, or he or she needs more clarity, you can always ask for a 5 minutes video. You can always request for the same. We'll do that to make you understand this thing. Now f of a plus x is equals to f of a minus x means x is symmetrical about the line x equal to a. Fx, not x, I'm sorry. F of x is symmetrical about the line x equal to say a. Since its fx is a quadratic polynomial, therefore the graph of it would be a parabola. And in this case, whenever I want to draw a parabola, I first of all need to see the sign of a. A is positive, that means it's an upward parabola. Alright, and I'm also given that x is symmetrical about, since in this case a is 2, it's symmetrical about x equal to 2. So let's draw the line x equal to 2. Let's say this is x-axis and this is the line x is equals to 2. Now as given in the question, our graph is symmetrical about this line. That means it's symmetrical about this line. That means it can be either this way, because it's not mentioned it has no real roots or it has real roots whatsoever, or it can be this way, or it can be this way also. The three cases can be there. It can be completely upward, it can be touching the x-axis, or it can be cutting the x-axis. But it doesn't make much difference to our lives, because over here we're talking about symmetry and not whether the roots are real or not. So let's take any of the case and the result will be true for all the other cases. So I'm taking this case, let's say, okay, and this is x equal to 2. So we are being told that this is symmetrical about the line x equal to 2, okay. Then that means this is the lowest, the x is equals to 2 is the point of the lowest value. That means this is x is equal to 2 is the abscissa of the vertex. That means 2 comma whatever, f of 2, okay. This will be the lowest point for sure. That's quite clear from the graph itself. Now let's come back to the options. We have to find out which one is the correct. That means since f of 2 is the lowest point, that means f of 2 should have the lowest value. Since 2 is the low, x equal to 2 gives you the lowest point, that means f of 2 should have the lowest value. Now first of all, discard all those options wherein, because these are the inequalities, discard all those options wherein f of 2 is not giving you the lowest value. That means you have to discard this option. In all the other options, f of 2 gives you the lowest value, and here over here it's f of 2.1. So all the three options you need to check. Now let's come to the option B. It says that f of 2 is minimum, the value of f of 2 is minimum, the value of f of 1 is greater than that, and the value of f of 4 is the maximum. So let's find out. From this graph, somewhere over here we'll have x equal to 1, and somewhere over here let's say we will have x is equals to, I don't know the point where it will be cutting. Somewhere over here let's say it will be x is equals to 4. Now as we can clearly find out, can you clearly find out where exactly, what exactly would be the value? Now 1 is closer to this. Since 1 is closer to this, the value is more negative, and f of 4 has a lesser negative value. So certainly f of 4 is greater than f of 1. Yes or no? Are you understanding my point? Now it's not, I'm for my convenience taking this graph. It's not mandatory to take this graph. You can also consider the upward parabola. Let us consider the case of the upward parabola as well. Let us assume this is the point 2, x equals to 2, having the lowest value. So 4 will lie somewhere over here. This is origin, and 1 will lie somewhere over here. From here also you can check. 1 will give you this value, and 4 will give you the higher value, quite a higher value. Let me just. So at x is equals to 4, the value is higher than that at x equals to 1. Let's make a straight line. You can clearly conclude this through the graph. Any graph. You must have taken this graph as well. This one also concluded the same thing. F of 1 has more negative value, while f of 4 has lesser negative value. Certainly f of 4 is greater than f of 1. So that means this is completely correct. Since we got the right option, we don't need to check the other ones. This is the reverse of this. So certainly this is incorrect. Now we can check this as well, which will be certainly incorrect because there is a single option correct. We are doing the mains level. Over here, f of 2.1 is greater than f of 2.5 is less. F of 2.1 is less than f of 2.5, which is less than f of 3. Now let's just check this. F of 2.1 would be somewhere over here, and then you have f of 2.5, that is somewhere over here. Let's say this is 3. Now f of 3 is this, okay, f of 2.5 is this, and let's make it f of 1.5. This is not 2.5, so I'm sorry, this is 1.5. This is f of 1.5. Now clearly f of 1.5, now if in this you are given that f of 2 plus t is equals to f of 2 minus t. Now if you substitute t to be 0.5 in this case, what will you have? F of 2.5 is equal to f of 1.5. Okay, and over here you are given that, let's try and find out. F of 1.5 is what? Somewhere over here is 1.5, f of 1.5, this will be this, and then you have f of 3, which will be somewhere over here. So this option is also anyway coming out to be correct, but in any way this becomes a multi-correct question. Generally we have just one option correct, so this is a multi-correct question. We have two options correct in this case. That's also fine. All right. So this makes you, this gives, I hope you're clear with this question. This exactly was not about discriminant or non-real roots. This was something about the symmetry and to check graphically that which value is greater and which value is less, and that if there is symmetry, if you are given something like this, f of 2 minus t is equals to f of 2 plus t for all t, that means for all real values of t this happens. That means if you put different values of t, you will have f of 4 is equals to f of 0. If you put t equal to 1, you will have f of 3 is equals to f of 1. If you put t equal to 0.5, you will have f of 2.5 is equals to f of 1.5. So therefore we concluded that this is symmetrical about x equal to 2. You will find symmetry in this case, in this graph. So the lowest value was f of 2, and thereby we went on comparing the values, looking at what was our requirement, and this is how this question was done. So this question, some students may also think that we must take the discriminant, we must locate the roots, so they may unnecessarily not spoil their time and focus on the graphs. Alright, let's come to the next question, question number 3. Find the range of value of a such that fx is always negative. Now you are asked that find the range of values of a such that it is always negative. Now since this entire thing is negative, this thing has the numerator as well as denominator. It will be negative or positive will depend upon the sign of both the numerator and denominator. Since numerator is not completely known to us, but denominator is completely known to us, let's do some analysis about this. If I find out the discriminant of this, I will have 64 minus 4 into 32. Clearly it's negative. Since discriminant is negative, your a is equals to 1, that is positive. Therefore x square minus 8x plus 32 will always be greater than 0. Why is it so? Because this is an upward parabola having no roots, hence this is the scenario, and then this is always positive. I am hoping that you all are very, very clear with this concept. Alright, now that we already know the sign of the denominator, now that we are already aware of the sign of the denominator, what's left to us? We are left with just finding the sign of the numerator. Because we want this negative, the denominator is always positive. This is an always positive quantity. Okay, so we just need the sign of the numerator to be negative to make fx negative. So hence, since this is always positive, this should be negative. So we want that our ax square plus 2 into a plus 1x plus 9a plus 4 should be negative. Always. Which is possible only when a is less than 0 and discriminant is less than. We want that this should be always negative. Now how come the graph is always negative? For the graph to be always negative, that means this has to be the scenario, right? If we take the other scenarios, like I can take like this also, but this is not always negative. This is not always negative. Somewhere it will gonna cut and become positive. So the only scenario left with us is this. And for this to be true, I should have, since this is a downward parabola, I should have a less than 0. Second condition is that my d should be less than 0. Both the things should be less than 0. Alright. So now let's work on it and find out. So for discriminant to be less than 0, I will have my 2 a plus 1 whole squared minus 4 times a into 9a plus 4 should be less than 0. Yes or no? Because this was the equation. If you carefully look at this equation, this was the equation. You must have discriminant should be less than 0. That means 4a plus 1 whole squared. 4 or 2a plus 1 whole squared minus 4a into 9a plus 4 should be less than 0, and also a is less than 0 for sure, and a less than 0. Okay, now let's just solve it. So 4a square plus 1 plus 2a minus 4 9a squared plus 4a should be less than 0. 4 taken common, I will have a square plus 1 plus 2a minus 9a squared minus 4a, and that has to be less than 0. 4 is taken common. Okay, now let's just solve it a bit. So I will have minus 8a squared minus 2a plus 1 less than 0, which gives me 8a square plus 2a minus 1 greater than 0 by multiplying it with a negative sign. You can even do without multiplying by a negative sign, that's completely optional. Now let's just factorize it. On factorization, I will have the factors will be 4 into 2, 8a square, 4a minus 2a minus 1 greater than 0. That means you will have simple factorization 4a minus 1 and 2a plus 1 greater than 0. Okay. Now let's make a wavy curve and find out the sign. Minus 1 by 2, 1 by 4 plus, I hope you know this wavy curve and I don't need to explain it to you in details. So 1 by 4 and minus half plus minus plus. So I am looking for the positive outcome. So that means this and this are my favorable ones. So a belongs to minus infinity to minus half union 1 by 4 to infinity. But now, since we were also taking that a is less than 0, so I may reject this and only take a belongs to minus infinity to minus half, which is the correct answer to this particular question. So let's look at the options. So the correct answer to this would be not this, just this. Okay, so I hope you're really clear with the same thing. So let's move to the question number 4. Now this is a very interesting question. This is a bit of subjective question. I didn't make options in this because I wanted to completely do this question with you without giving you any options. Alright, let alpha, beta and gamma are roots of cubic given to you. Find a cubic whose roots are alpha upon alpha minus 2, beta upon beta minus 2, gamma upon gamma minus 2. Hence or otherwise find the value of alpha minus 2, beta minus 2 and gamma minus 2. Now, in your mains examination, the question may be asked, they won't ask you find a cubic equation whose roots are. They will simply ask you find the value of alpha minus 2, beta minus 2 and gamma minus 2. Alright. Now let's start with this question. Now one way of doing this question which you must be thinking would be taking the sum of the roots, take 2 at a time and then solving it, which will be a very lengthy method. So we have to discard that. We can't even think of doing that in mains because we have this barrier of time. So the way is that since we have to transform this equation, we need a transformed equation whose roots are alpha upon alpha, because that is why I'm discussing it like this. Find a cubic whose roots are. So let's first of all this give you a hint that let's first of all find a cubic having these as roots. So if I need to find out the cubic which has these as the roots, that means I should have my y is equals to alpha upon alpha minus 2. I'm making a cubic in y whose roots must be this. Okay, so let us assume this y is equals to this. So therefore, on cross multiplying, I will have y alpha minus 2y is equals to alpha. Okay, and I will also have alpha taken common, y minus 1 is equals to 2y. Alright, and then I'll have alpha is equals to 2y upon y minus 1. Since I want to this is a tedious step, you have to understand it properly. Since I want to make a cubic in y, let's assume I want to make a cubic in y whose roots are alpha upon alpha minus 2. Now as you can see that they are all the same. In place of alpha it's here beta, in place of beta is gamma. So whenever you have a question like this is the way to approach in all the questions like this. So whenever you have this y, okay, you just I'm taking a y cube. I want to make a cubic in cubic having these roots. So I'll make a cubic in y. So I assumed y is this. So from there I found out alpha. Now alpha is the root of the given cubic equation. Therefore it will satisfy the given cubic equation. Which is the given cubic equation? X cube minus 3x squared plus 1 is equals to 0. Since alpha is the root, it will satisfy for sure. So let's just make let us satisfy this. Let us make it satisfy this. 2y upon y minus 1 whole cube, 3 into 2y upon y minus 1 whole squared plus 1 equals 0. Now let's just solve it. So it will be 8y cube upon y minus 1 whole cube minus 3 4s are 12y square upon y minus 1 whole square plus 1. On taking LCM, it will be simply 8y cube minus 12y square into y minus 1 plus y minus 1 whole cube equals to 0. Now let's just open it. I will have 8y cube minus 12y cube plus 12y squared plus y cube, a cube minus b cube minus 3y, y minus 1, that would be 3y squared plus 3y equals 0. Okay. On solving, I will have 8y minus 12y, that is minus 4y, and this 1y minus 3y cube. Okay. Then I'll have 12y square and minus 3y square minus 9y square plus 9y square, I'm sorry. Okay. And then I have 9y square, any term containing as 3y minus 1 is equals to 0. So this is my cubic. The first part is done. The cubic equation having roots as alpha upon alpha minus 2, beta upon beta minus 2 and gamma upon gamma minus 2 is this. Now, what they want us to do? They want us to find out the value of alpha minus 2, beta minus 2 and gamma minus 2. Now, since we need to find out this value, I can clearly see that in the given cubic equation minus 3, in the found cubic equation which we found out, if I take the product of the roots, which are the roots of this equation, because only then I will get this term of alpha minus 2 beta minus, there is no other way in which I can get them together. So that means I need to take the product. So once I take the product, let's find out what is the product of the root. The product of the root is, this is 1 by 3 with a negative sign. Okay, yes or no? And also I know the value of alpha beta gamma because I know alpha beta gamma are the roots of the given equation. This is 2. And in the given equation, the value of alpha beta gamma is given to be equal to minus 1, and this is equal to minus 1 by 3. So from here, negative will get cancelled. Alright, and I will end up having, on cross multiplication, I will end up having alpha minus 2, beta minus 2, gamma minus 2 is equal to 3. So this is how I found out the value of alpha minus 2, beta minus 2 and gamma minus 2 to be equal to 3. So let me just repeat this question with you because this had a transformation which sometimes students may find difficult to understand. So let me repeat it with you. Now we wanted a cubic equation. Alpha beta gamma are the roots of the cubic. X cube minus 3x squared plus 1 equal to 0. Find a cubic whose roots are this. Hence or otherwise find the value of alpha minus 2, beta minus 2 and gamma minus 2. Now I wanted a cubic equation having these are the roots. So whenever I am given something like this in which alpha beta gamma, even if replaced, will give you the same values, I mean they look identical, there's just in place of alpha if you put beta you get the same root, we should always use the transformation. And how do you use the transformation? Since you want to form a cubic in y, let us assume this y should be, now since this is supposed to be root of the given equation that is to be found in y, that means your y should be equal to this, must satisfy the equation. From here I found out alpha in terms of y. Now since alpha is the root of the given equation, that means it will satisfy the given equation. From there I found out an equation in y. Okay, this was my equation in y. Now that I found an equation in my y, my half the job is done. After that I needed to find out the value of what? Alpha upon alpha minus 2 beta. I wanted to find out this value. For that, I took product of the roots, alright, and from this equation it was quite clear the product of the root is minus 1 by 3. I put the value and I got everything. I'm really hoping that this question is very, very clear to you. So I try to give you important questions which are being asked. I have not given you exactly those questions which are being asked in mains. I am giving you the type of the questions which are being asked. So I'm hoping that you like it. Another type of the question which are very, very important is that are certainly asked in exams are location of the roots. I didn't discuss them because you generally kids know about them and it's a very common topic. So I discussed something which was little different from those common things. I hope you really like this lecture. Thank you so much.